Hey YouTubers, Grimmy here, and today I'm being joined by Age of Extinction Grimlock. The leader class toys for the new movie have finally shown up in stores, and I just happened to get a hold of the Dinobot leader himself today. So, without further ado, let's take a closer look at Grimlock here. Now, the first thing you're going to notice about Grimlock is he is chromed out beyond reason. He's pretty much from the head all the way to his tail on his back is practically all chrome. Like, if we get a look at that back, yeah, you can see there is a lot of chrome on there. I mean, and I just wish that it was all this kind of chrome here, because that would make it look a lot better. But unfortunately, most of it's silver. And another thing you're going to notice is he's actually pretty thin, like in this department. He's thicker, like he's wider, but he's also a bit on the thin side, which is unfortunate. I would have liked him to be a little, sorry, I gotta get him to stand, thicker in this sense, but yeah. Still, it's not a bad look. I mean, he does look like a mean little dino, more of a Carnotaurus than a T-Rex though. If you're not familiar with a Carnotaurus, watch the Disney movie Dinosaur. It's kind of like the T-Rex-like monster in that one. If you're at the Disney parks, Animal Kingdom has a ride where you're face-to-face with the thing. Anyway, I'm back onto him. It's a really nice looking Dino mode, honesty. And he's got decent amount of articulation. He's got forward, backward on the shoulders, elbow bends, forward, backward, ratcheted joints on the hips, outward movement, swivel above the knee, and bending knees, and forward back on the toes, or the ankles. So you can actually get some decent walking poses, I guess. Although he's a bit on the front heavy side, so you're not going to get him to stand like that. In fact, to balance him, you kind of have to have his legs as far forward as you can get. And then it's advised to have his... Oh, and you were standing just a minute ago. Sorry, he's just a little tricky to balance him. There we go. Yeah, he's a bit tricky to get some balance on him. He has some up and down movement on his head as well, and he's trying to fall over again. So, yeah, that's the unfortunate part. He's hard to get balanced, but otherwise, he has a good look to him. I mean, that head sculpt is very well done. Let me see if I can get close up on that. As you can see, nice blue eye, real scary grill. And this guy looks like he's ready to bite your head off. And he probably would bite your head off if you give him the chance to. But yeah, let's get some comparisons in. First of all, the platinum version of the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. And to be completely unfair, we'll put in Masterpiece Grimlock. Yeah, I know, that's a little bit harsh, but So as you can see, he's a lot different from your standard Grimlock, as are most movieverse characters. Um, you know, that's just the way the Bayformers work, unfortunately. Still, it's a nice looking dino. Might not want it to be Grimlock, but it's still a nice looking dino. Anyway, let's get Grimlock here into robot mode and see how he looks there. And now that we got Grimlock in his robot mode, I'm going to reiterate, he is chrome beyond reason. I mean, from like most of his chest, his shins, and his shoulder pads are all covered in silver chrome. And even his shield is covered in chrome, and then has paint over it to give it a copper look. Which I do like the copper chrome on there. I do like that color. I wish it was on his chest and his shoulder pads as well. Maybe like a grayish chrome on the legs. You know, just to make it look more coherent. But yeah, the silver chrome is on there. And if you're not a fan of chrome, this isn't going to change your mind. I'm going to tell you right now. And even if you are a fan of chrome, there is something to be on the lookout for, because you're going to have to be very delicate with this guy. I've only had him a couple hours, and his collar is already showing signs of chipping. They're small, probably insignificant, probably not even noticeable on camera, but I do see them. And that copper paint on the chrome, right out of the box, there's some scratches in the paint. Which is a shame. I think that might have even been caused by the rubber band that's, or the, I'm sorry, the little piece of plastic that was holding him in. Unfortunate, but true. So you're going to have to be on the lookout for that. And handle them with care. The transformation is actually pretty easy. It's advertising 18 steps. That's pretty accurate. Maybe not even that many if you're like me, but yeah, I mean, he has a lot of nice tricks for his transformation. The legs pretty much collapse in on themselves, do a flip around to form the dinosaur torso, which is really nicely done. And turning him around, the rib cage will actually fill some of the gaps in the back to make it fill out a little better. There, you could tell it's a little hollow back there anyway, but it's a nice touch. I mean, and aside from that gap in the back of the shins, there's no real hollow bits to him in his robot mode, which is a nice thing. And it's always nice that they limit the hollow looking parts, so it helps flesh him out a little better. And he's a tall dude. He's going in at just under 10 inches tall, which is not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, but his accessories include his shield and his dragon tooth mace, both made from his tail, which is nice. And for articulation, he's got a fair amount. Let me get his mace out of hand. I'll get his weapons out so I can actually show you better. Okay, but for his head, he's got a swivel left and right. No up and down movement, unfortunately. Forward, backward on the shoulders, ratcheted. He does have some outward movement on the shoulders as well. Although there's a bit of a, I don't know if it's a ratchet or just something catching, but it's going to lock it's going to be a little difficult at this angle, so might have to think of it as a big ratchet, unfortunately, but still works pretty well. Bend at the elbow, swivel right above the elbow. He has swivels at the wrist, which is nice. No waist joint, unfortunately. He has forward, backward ratchets on the hips, as well as in and out. Thigh swivel, ratcheted knees, and swivel on the ankles, forward, backward, and left and right. So you might be able to pull out some nice poses with him. And he's got a nice sense of balance too, so he's not going to fall over easy. Which is a good thing. Now, there is one thing I really don't like about him as far as transformation and the chrome are both concerned. It's the way the shoulders transform when he's going to dinosaur mode. These become very hard to pull out because the tabs that go into his the thigh are covered in chrome, which makes it very tight and very hard to pull in and out. Well, this does mean that it's going to stay in there. It's not going to pull out on its own. It is very hard to transform him because of just that. I mean, if it wasn't for that, he'd be a piece of cake to transform and could be done in a matter of moments. I mean, the transformation's that easy. This might have been just for mine, but mine didn't come with instructions either. I think it's supposed to. I just got unlucky. Okay, but you know, that's no big deal. I figured it out quick enough. Like, he's not gonna drive you crazy trying to figure him out, which is a good thing. But let me get his arms down and get him standing straight again. Again, he is very sturdy standing up, which is always a good thing. But let's get some comparisons in. So again, first we're going to go with the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock, the Platinum Edition. That's the one I have handy. And as you can see, you know, there's a good difference between Voyager and Leader, at least. To be a little more unfair, I'm going to put in Masterpiece Grimlock. And here's a surprise. They stand pretty close to the same height. As you can see, Masterpiece Grimlock's a little bulkier, but that's because he's a Masterpiece class. You know, that's going to happen. So why don't we get him something that's more in his price point, at least initially. And let's put him with, RID Weaponizer Bumblebee. I just happen to have him handy. And he's a good example of a modern leader class. Now, as you can see, they do stand roughly about the same height, feeling just about as thin as each other do, and honestly, they compare pretty well. This guy has his own little gimmick that Leader Grimlock does not have, but you know, that's not a big deal. Well, not really. I guess his gimmick is being covered in chrome. Yeah. But yeah, it's a leader class figure. I'm not sure they're quite worth $45 to $50 though. That's going to be up to you to decide. Still, he's a really nice figure, worth having. Might be okay to wait till he goes on clearance or appears in Ross or Marshalls though. I'll leave that to you. But he's a good figure. Anyway, I do hope you guys have enjoyed this review. I'll see you next time. Take care, have fun, and bye-bye.